Okay, so hopefully the recording's going. And this is Barbara and I, and today's date is, what's today? December 13th, 2018. We are doing my second session on Maura2. This is Pam Coronado, for those who don't know. Okay, so I have requested that you ask, questions, and I did recommend that you guys put together a list of questions or things that are unresolved or things that you're really puzzled over, or those kinds of things that I can help with. I did a session before our talk today just to get a better feel for the location where I feel her current, what I call her current physical location. So I just try to tune into the body.
Fabulous.
Here and now, like where in this moment in time where her body would be.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, so tell me where you want to start. Do you want to start with location? Do you want to start by talking about
a location would be fine. The big question was, where is her body?
Yeah, that's the
in
big,
your view.
That is the big $1 million question. And it's always a harder, for me, it's like I get an image, I get a scene in my mind, and then we have to find that scene out in the world. It's kind of like if you had a postcard and now you're walking around trying to find where this picture was taken. Mm-hmm. So it's sort of the way it works for me. But I'm going to show you.
Okay.
This is a rudimentary. This is not a good sketch.
That's fine.
I just want to show you, and I will send it to you. But I just want you to see. I don't know if you can see.
Sure. Does that say tires?
That says tires.
Okay.
And this says ice cream.
Okay.
Weirdly enough. Mm-hmm. So I will send that to you.
Okay. Got it.
But the basis was, what I try to do is I try to take myself to the location. Like literally, if I was standing there mm-hmm. with her, what would I see? Mm-hmm. So if I was on the ground looking around every direction, what would I see? So that's the approach I take. Mm-hmm. And then I try to sort of shoot out and get some landmarks and things. Mm-hmm. So from this sketch that I have,
okay,
which is not beautiful.
It's fine.
These are railroad tracks.
Okay.
And this is what I saw last time. And these railroad tracks, I feel, are maybe not maintained. So I kind of feel like they're maybe not used.
Okay.
I could be wrong about that, but I kind of felt like, I just didn't feel like there was a lot of traffic on them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, got it.
This is a chain link fence in front of it, separating this property over here.
Okay.
These are just from what trees, just vegetation, trees, bushes.
Okay.
Kind of a wild, this is kind of a wild area.
Okay.
And I honestly cannot tell you where which side of this fence she's on.
Okay.
I'm just not positive if she's on the property itself of this building or if she's on this side of the railroad tracks. Mm-hmm. But that's the scene I get. What's interesting about this is, like, she could be in the woods anywhere, but it's not the woods. That's not the scenario I get as far as just being out in the middle of nowhere. I just don't get that sense. Okay. Other than if she's in here, you're not gonna, you know, if she's in here, nobody's gonna see her or find her.
Mhm.
I feel like this is where we get a little graphic. I do feel like she's wrapped in black plastic. So I don't know if
Okay.
it's the black trash bag, if it's black plastic, what it is, but I can clearly see that she's wrapped in something.
Okay.
I do feel like she's buried. I don't feel like she's just tossed on top. This, you know, I got this building before. It sits out in the middle of a field or a flat area. It's light colored, so it's either gray or beige or some light color. It's not very architecturally interesting. It's just a box.
Okay.
I can't tell if it's made out of metal or wood, to be honest. It's got that warehousey type feel.
Mhm.
When I asked what it was used for, that's when I heard the tires. That's when the tires popped in.
Mhm.
And I literally heard Big Brand Tires, which is a local, for me, that's a local tire store. I don't think you
Mhm.
guys have that. So I don't know why that particular phrase popped into my head.
Big brand.
Big Brand, I kept hearing Big Brand Tires.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm thinking this maybe that's what the business is, or it's a storage place or something, but something to do with tires. What's interesting too is I tried to figure out where the mountain range would be in relation to this. Now keep in mind, I can get things backwards too. I can sort of mirror things or whatever.
Sure.
But I felt like the mountain range was over in this direction.
Okay.
And then I felt like there was water somewhere between here and this mountain range. So I don't know if that's a river. I just felt like there's water between here and here.
Okay. All right.
And then over on this side, I saw, at first it's all messy because at first I saw a road. At first I got the sense that there was a road over there. Then I
Mhm.
realized it was like a curvy. I had it straight and then I tried to make it curvy. So I don't think it's perfectly straight. I feel like it's like a kind of like a curvy mountain road. Two
Okay.
lanes, kind of dark pavement,
Mhm.
but it felt like a 2 lane to me. It felt like a 2 lane road. Um, and then I heard that there was an ice cream. I don't know why. I heard that there's an ice cream store over there, but that felt um, important somehow.
Mhm. Sure.
Oddly, that's not something I get typically.
Yeah.
So, um, so it felt like a little, you know, like a well-known ice cream place or something, like somebody would know
Mhm.
something about that.
Yeah.
But that's the general. So that's the general sort of layout, right?
Mhm.
Um,
Good enough.
so here's the thing about layout that's important to understand is when
Mhm.
I get things like that, I'm getting them in relation to each other. They are not to scale. So
Of
this
course.
is not to scale.
Okay,
So
that's fine.
don't take it. That's a big mistake to take it to scale. It's
Sure.
more of a relational thing for me. So it's
Mhm.
more of, okay, the mountains are over there, there's water that direction,
Mhm.
the
Of course.
ice cream thing and the roads that direction. I felt like where the ice cream store and that mountain road thing, like I felt like that was the direction where the town was or civilization was
Mhm.
over in that direction.
Okay.
But I felt like it was more rural, um, where this going toward the mountain range. So it's more rural where this flat part is, where I see this warehouse type thing and the
Okay.
railroad tracks and all that. That all feels very flat, but it feels pretty rural out there.
Okay.
So does that make sense so far?
Yeah, I've got some definite, some definite leads, landmarks out of it. I'm certain, we can be looking into that as well. Um, Now, another question, is law enforcement involved or a cover-up?
Um, that's kind of a leading question, but we'll we'll look at that. So in my first reading, I felt like um, she was followed in a car.
Mhm.
I felt like there was 2 or 3 guys.
Mhm.
I saw that they were being really erratic behind her and scaring her because I kept seeing her look in her rearview mirror. Um, like they were being super erratic. I don't know if that was purposeful to get her to pull over
Mhm.
or if they were trying to intimidate her or what was going
Mhm.
on. But there was some scary scene like that. But what I do remember was feeling like at least one of those guys was military. I do remember feeling like that.
Okay.
Um, and I don't remember. I think it was because I saw a uniform, or there was something though that made me feel like at least one of them was military. Um, but as far as your question about jumping forward and looking at it today, if there's any sort of cover up or something like that going on. Yeah, it's an interesting question because um, is it the sheriff's department that's in charge of it?
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
um, so there may be something to that. I hate to get I hate to get I hate to put this out there in public. Um, it's kind of conspiracy but I do get a connection there with the sheriff's department, potentially. um, One of these kids has a connection to like someone in the sheriff's department, so there
Okay.
may be some cover up there, like it's somebody's kid or somebody's um, something along those lines. That's not out of the realm of possibility.
Okay. Um, how was she killed?
So, you mean cause of death? Or
Yes,
so, like I said,
correct.
I definitely felt like uh, she was forced over off of the road. I felt like she was grabbed at that point
Mhm.
by. I always saw a big guy, a big muscular guy. I see 2 or 3 guys, but one in particular is just muscular and big.
Mhm.
Um, Obviously, somebody who works out or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I felt like it was fairly easy for him to overpower her and force her into their vehicle, maybe.
Mhm.
Um, um, and this is, yeah, it's hard to go into the detail about this, but I do feel like she was taken to another location.
Mhm.
Um, I feel
Yes.
like, there was probably a rape scenario. which I feel is mostly the motive there. Um, and let me see about the cause of death. Yeah, I was just trying to see if I hear gunshots or not, if I feel like a gun was used. It's really quite interesting because I feel like there's a gun involved, but I'm not sure if it's used. It
Okay.
may be there for threatening purposes, but I'm not positive if it's used. I almost feel more of a strangling type scenario. Yeah, it's interesting because I do feel the presence of a gun, but I just don't hear it necessarily going off.
Okay.
I'd be surprised. Maybe somebody heard. I would be surprised if anybody heard a gunshot because I'm not hearing it.
Okay. How about was Maura alive for days?
So you want to ask how long was she alive after
Yeah.
she was taken? Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, like I said, I do feel like she was taken to a secondary location. I do feel like there was 2 or 3 of these guys. Um, uh, but say, repeat the question.
Um,
How long do I
was
feel like she was kept alive?
yes, if she was taken from the scene, was she kept more than a day or a few days as captive or anything on that avenue?
Okay. Um, I I don't get that sense that she was kept there for days. I don't think so. Maybe one,
Oh,
but I don't think days on end. I just don't feel like that.
okay. Possibly describe the killers.
This is I wish I could remember what I said last time. Um, I know that there's one who's big. Like I said, he's muscular, quite a bit. I don't know how tall she is, but I feel like he's taller than her,
Mhm.
quite stocky. Let me see if I can get a good fix on him. Um, yeah, I kept hearing a name earlier too, and I don't trust names. I tend to not trust them so much, but I kept hearing Tommy, Tommy, Tommy earlier. But yeah, the guy that I see is the main. There's the main one, the one that I feel like grabbed her and overpowered her, and uh, is sort of the ringleader, whatever. Um, I see. I want to say I see light brown hair. Um, feels short. He feels clean cut to me. Like he doesn't look like a guy that you would think would be doing something like this.
Mhm.
He doesn't look scruffy or criminal. Like he's not. You just wouldn't suspect this person. He just looks like a normal, clean cut. Kind of reminds me of like a football player or
Mhm.
something like that. Like you just wouldn't really think of him as being that.
Do
Um,
you get any initials at all? Any kind of initials with those killers?
well, like I said, I kept hearing the name Tommy for one of them, but because I still get the strong T. I still get the T on one of them. Maybe a J, maybe an L. But yeah, I'm not. I'm pretty weak. I'm pretty weak on that. I don't want to
Okay.
say I feel good about it.
Okay. How about a backpack location or any sense of a backpack? Would she be found with her backpack or?
Her backpack.
Yes.
What color is it?
It's, she had a black one.
Was it missing from her car? Or
Yes.
okay. If she used it instead of a purse,
More than likely.
yeah. Because I don't get like a big backpack like you and I would use to go backpacking, but like a smaller like pack, right?
Mhm.
um, location of the pack. Yeah, the pack. I kind of suspect the pack is with her. I kind of think it's with her.
Okay. In your vision, was sex trafficking involved?
Uh, I did not get that feeling. I got the feeling that this was an opportunistic thing where they encountered her, saw her somewhere, decided to sabotage her um, by, forcing her to pull over somehow.
Mhm.
Um, it feels sex motivated
Mhm.
to me, but it doesn't feel like um, it feels like sex motivated on their part,
Mhm.
but I'm not sure it's a profit sort of sell her for profit kind of thing. I'm not
Mhm.
sure I get that.
Okay. Um, was Maura put into a closet?
Leading question. um,
Preliminary to her death, possibly.
yeah, let's just look and see what, because I do feel like they took her to a place, right? Let me see if I even get this as an indoor or an outdoor situation.
Mhm.
Because I do feel like said, I feel like all two or three of these people probably raped her at different points, or I do get that scenario.
Mhm.
Um, and again, I feel like that's the main motive here. Um, I feel like these guys may have been drinking or on something
Mhm.
earlier, or I just feel like they're probably drinking or on something. Um, what do they do with her though? And that's why I get the strangling scenario too. I just keep getting one with his hands around her throat, especially that big guy. But I feel like she fought a lot too at first when they tried to grab her. I feel like she really put up a fight. Um, uh, do I see her? being put into a closet. Um, so I see her being forced into a vehicle. I'm not clear on this vehicle yet, but I feel like she's forced down, like either down on the floorboard or down into the trunk, or she's forced down somewhere,
Okay.
and driven. Let's see. Let's see how far they go with her. Because this is at night. Is at night?
Yes.
Because I kept seeing the headlights behind her, so I assumed it was at night. Let me see how long. Yeah, that part I'm not sure. I don't know if I don't know if they drive for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But then, so I feel like they do take her to someone's house or somebody's house. I don't know whose house. Yeah, they take her to someone's house. One of obviously those three that they know.
Any description on the interior or the style of the house?
My initial thought was, let me look at it. Because I was definitely feeling like it was like a farmhouse, like a 2-story. I don't know. It felt like a 2-story to me. It felt like a farmhouse to me, or something like that.
Okay.
And I honestly am not sure if somebody lives there, doesn't live there, if it's like belongs to an older person. I'm not sure. That part's kind of murky.
Okay. Did her close girlfriends know who did this?
Her close girlfriend. Just give me a name of one of them.
Let's see. Andrea.
Okay. As in
College girls.
let me reframe this question for you just to make sure I understand it. When you say, does she know that, does that mean, does she know the person, or does that mean she has knowledge of the crime?
Did any of her college girlfriends know any of the killers?
Okay.
Prior a connection.
Got it. Okay.
Sorry.
That's a good question. Let me look at that. Because I feel like they saw her earlier. Yeah, because I feel like I feel like there was a gathering or a party, or they were at a bar, or there was something. There was some sort of party and drinking, that kind of thing. But did her girlfriends know these people? I think so. I think so.
Okay. Um,
Maybe not super well, but I think I definitely think that it's not a total random stranger that nobody's ever seen before kind of scenario. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, sure. Why did she go up north 3 hours, totally away from where she normally would ever go alone? Is there any inkling of why she went up there?
this is before this happened, right before it happened.
Yes, correct.
Let's see where she was. What was she doing? In fact, did she skip out on something like work, or did she skip out on something she was supposed to be doing?
Yes.
Yeah, like she was supposed to be at work or supposed to be somewhere and she skipped out.
Her
Yeah.
college courses for the week.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, that's an interesting question because let me tune into it for a sec. I feel like she ditched out on something. She was a responsibility, and then I think it's related to a guy. I think it has to do with a guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's somebody she met.
Okay. One of our big leading questions, I'll try not to lead. The big important question, have cadaver dogs already come upon where she's located?
Have cadaver dogs been in the area where she's located? Where she's located? Where she's located now?
Yes, correct. If she's buried.
Let me see if I see anything like that. I don't feel like you guys have been in the area, to be honest. I could be wrong, but I don't get a sense of dogs going there.
Mm-hmm. Do you see her payment cement?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I think she's buried.
Okay.
Because she's not visible from the surface. I did get the sense that some equipment, like somebody didn't go out there with a shovel and bury her. I did feel like there was like a bulldozer or Caterpillar or somebody used equipment to do that.
Okay.
But I didn't feel like she was encased in cement or something like that. Mm-mm.
Okay. Do you feel if she's next to another body?
Let me see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask that question, and then I'm going to ask myself why. One of my favorite questions is why this location? Like, what is it about this place that why would somebody choose it? Do I feel like she's around somebody, any other bodies? It's possible.
Okay.
Um, but what's interesting is it may or may not be at all what you're thinking. But
The same killer?
actually thinking could be a younger girl, younger,
Mm-hmm.
like teenage or some age like that.
Okay. Um, do
Oh,
you,
let me ask
okay. Yep.
why this, because I kind of felt like there was a purpose to this property, right? So like somebody's got a connection to it, or somebody
Oh,
knows of it,
yes.
or
Yes.
especially if I saw a backhoe or some sort of, or whatever, a bulldozer or somebody using equipment. I kind of felt like whether somebody worked there or
Mm-hmm.
um,
How about brothers with that same scenario?
what?
Brothers in that same scenario?
What do you mean?
Would the culprit or the killers possibly be brothers? Do you
Oh,
get that feeling?
hmm.
No.
I didn't get that impression. I felt like they were friends. I definitely felt like they were friends. Yeah,
Okay.
I would say they were probably friends.
Okay. Um, what caused the dent in her car? It's never been known.
Um, yeah, let's go back to the scenario of the car because I felt like she was being chased. Like I said, I felt like somebody was following her. They were being really erratic behind her. Um, I felt like she was forced off the road. But let me see. Um, it's really because there may be two different scenarios going on with the car, like something that happened earlier to it and then something that happened later is what I feel. Like I don't feel like she sustained this dent or whatever it is at the time where they grabbed her. I feel like that it happened earlier or something. Um, I almost feel like I keep feeling like she's set up, like um, like somebody causes a fender bender so they can meet her or
Baited her.
bait her. Yeah, there's something weird about that whole thing.
Um, Jeez. Is there anyone alive that can lead to answers that you may get impressions of?
Anybody alive that you guys could get answers from?
Directly?
So yeah, I always look for the missing link or the weak link. The weak link. Um, yeah, that's a good question. Let's see. Let me just see if there's a connection. Let me see if I can spider web any connections here. Um, they're back to the sheriff. Honestly, I don't know if the sheriff's got a son or I don't know, there's some connection there, but let's see too. Yeah, I'm really intrigued by the who she was going to meet with when she went up there.
If she met them before.
Yeah, and that almost feels like yeah, the whole thing, it's so confusing because there's all these different bits and pieces I'm getting, right? So it's like it's like if we try to work it backwards. So I know she was grabbed. I know she was followed and grabbed by these guys and then taken and assaulted. So, and we know that. But when I go a step before that, I just feel like she had been somewhere. So I don't know if I'm confusing the two things. Like, I don't know if she was at this party where the guys were, or the guys just happened to be coming from a party and they saw her. That's the part I'm not positive about.
Okay.
Because I feel like she was coming from somewhere. And then before that, of course, like I said, I feel like she went up there to meet some male who she's thought of as a romantic prospect or something. So I don't know if she met someone online, if who that person is. But what's interesting about that is I can't tell if he's connected to this or if it was just a really bad luck scenario where this happened after. The thing about the car, though, is super puzzling because, like I said, I feel like I don't know. I mean, I feel like someone hit her or made her hit them as some part of ruse. It's almost like if you slammed on the brakes so somebody would hit you on purpose or something like that happened earlier. Sorry about my dog. He's going to bark.
That's okay. Do you feel, Pam, she stopped in the town that within the where she went missing? Did she stop at any kind of eatery that might stand out in your mindset? A bar or gas station? Do you get any kind of landmark like that?
Yeah, hopefully it's not the gas. It's probably not the ice cream store. But I think the ice cream store is just a landmark. So, by the way,
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, do I see her stopping somewhere? Because I feel like she was coming from somewhere. Let me see what she was doing. Well, I do feel like there's a gas station involved. I do feel like there is something with the gas station. Whether she stopped for gas or stopped for snacks or something, I do feel like there's that. I just want to focus in for a second on this guy, the guy who I feel like she went up there to see, maybe.
Okay.
I'm just really intrigued by that because because I don't feel like this is the same guy that grabbed her. Why would he have to chase her down in the car and grab her if she went to meet him? You know what I mean? Like, it just, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Right, right.
Yeah, that just doesn't make any sense to me.
Several different accomplices
At
from the
least
original.
At least 2 or 3. I kind of keep going, leaning to 3. I keep thinking there's 3 people in this car, in the vehicle that's behind her.
Okay. Was she alone in her vehicle on her trip up there?
On her trip up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Again, I think she was going to meet somebody.
Okay. Do you feel in your visions, has her killer killed before?
Well, because I got the thought of another girl, a younger girl, somebody I would put around like 13 or 14, like in that age range. Yeah, I would venture to say probably.
Wow. Okay, great. Thank you. Was the weapon, if not by strangulation, has it already been found?
Is it a gun that you're talking about, or what?
No.
A knife?
It would, yeah.
You know, it's funny, a knife came up for me and I totally dismissed it as being not right, which is interesting. But
Okay.
it means I pushed it away because it's right, or I pushed it away because it's wrong. But not sure.
Okay.
I really have a hard time seeing a knife used, to be honest. You may have different evidence that points to it, but I have a hard time seeing that scenario. I don't see her being stabbed is the problem. I don't see a bloody mess like that.
Okay.
And I don't see, typically I'll see like stabbing motion, or I'll see that kind of a physical confrontation. And I don't see that kind of a bloody, messy scenario. I could be wrong, but I don't see that.
Okay. Now, let's see. Oh, in your best vision, did Maura appear to be alive for consecutive days, or was it just a day?
It felt like a short amount of time to me. It did feel like a short amount of time.
Okay.
Like, you know, I would have a hard time saying she was kept alive for 3 or 4 days or something like that. It felt like a shorter amount of time.
One moment, Joe.
But I could be wrong about that. I've been wrong about that before because it's hard for me to see it. So,
yeah. Any other descriptions on or landmarks for the location? Again, prospectively in the vicinity at all?
Right.
Did you have a question, Joe? Yeah, bye-bye. I apologize.
That's okay.
Um,
So again, I keep seeing these railroad tracks that again, I'm just not sure that they're used. And this chain link fence, and then I can't tell if she's on the property side of that chain link fence or she's on the side where the railroad tracks are and the bushes and all that part. But I kind of feel like she's on the property side just
do
because I
you view
saw.
any kind of sand pit kind of area? Those
Yeah,
were,
like I said, I saw the bulldozer or something digging.
mhm.
Let me look at my thing. I was trying to get a better feel for like what is actually right around that building. Um, I wasn't picking up on a sand pit. That doesn't mean there's not one in the area somewhere, but that I wasn't picking up on one.
Okay. Did she ever have any connection before her life was taken with law enforcement right after she crashed?
Uh, After she crashed the first time, because I feel like
Yeah, either or, I would say.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Meaning, did they call and wait for the cops to come and that kind of thing?
We
Like,
wondered if she had any verbal interaction.
um,
Hmm.
verbal interaction after she crashed.
Or if they were forceful or anything on that level.
If law enforcement was on the scene at all? Are you
Supposedly.
asking if?
Yeah, it's never been ruled out or ruled in. They may have had a hand and they may not have. So it's like it's it's shaky ground.
I feel like there's something sketchy about the sheriff. I have to say, I don't feel like he was involved as much as he may know one of the kids.
Participation.
He may be
He didn't
protecting
participate.
somebody. Huh?
Yeah, he didn't participate.
No, I don't. No, I feel more like protecting somebody. Maybe that's what it feels like to me.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it feels like protecting somebody, but it doesn't feel like active participation to me. Um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like there was a forced fender bender or a forced situation, something that set some of this in motion, but I don't feel like the cops arrived on the scene or
Hmm.
that she had the opportunity to ask for help or that kind of thing.
Okay. Um, Neighbors in the direct vicinity, did they witness the abduction or when she was taken forcefully?
Hmm. Um, I felt like this happened really fast, pretty fast, as far as getting her to pull over. I mean, it seems like somebody would have seen this erratic, unless there was nobody on that road. Seems like somebody was seeing this erratic scene of somebody sort of chasing her down or swerving around behind her. And because I kept seeing somebody like swerving back and forth and then charging her and then backing off, like charging her and backing off. And if there was anybody else on the road, they would have seen that kind of weird behavior. So it kind of makes me think maybe there was nobody else on the road. And then when I see her pulling over, I don't think anybody saw. It just feels like it happened really fast to me. Like he grabbed her. I feel like he literally picked her up, and her feet, she's kicking and fighting, and he literally picked her up and was able to force her into the car.
Did she try using her phone at any point after she was taken?
Did she try using her phone? No, they may have messed with it. They may have messed with it.
Okay. Do you see her phone on her person or in the backpack when you do see the phone after she disappears?
Yeah, let's see what happens with the phone. I think they messed with her phone more than her trying, because I feel like she was rendered pretty helpless right off the bat. With the phone, yeah, they either has the phone's been never found, right? So I feel like they either tried to turn it off, they messed with it, they did something with her phone. They probably turned it off or took the batteries out or did something. They messed with it. They probably took the batteries out knowing it had like could be traced or GPS or something. But where is it now? Yeah, that's that's a good question, because I almost feel like there's some knowledge. It wouldn't surprise me if this was the kid of a law enforcement or something. I just feel like there's knowledge of how investigation stuff works, which is why they're good at covering their tracks. But the phone itself, I feel like that phone was probably destroyed.
Okay. Do you feel, Pam, that there was ever at any time, once Maura was taken, was there another girl present for any time during her abduction and her killing? Another female?
Let me see if I see her around another funeral. It's an interesting question because I don't feel like they encountered each other. There may be another girl, but I don't necessarily feel like they encountered each other. Does that make sense?
Okay. All right. Let's see. Covered a good deal of questions. Do you feel that those guys were under 25 or more towards 40, age-wise? The
Um, yeah, age-wise. The big guy that I was getting originally, that's a really good question. I was wanting, I was 26, probably 26, the 26 range, the younger range.
Okay. Do you possibly think she was relocated from an original disposal spot? Different burial area?
That is a good question too. Let me just see. I mean, I can definitely feel her being transported in the car to the place where they put her, held her, kept her, killed her, and then transported to a dump place. I wouldn't say I see two locations though.
Okay. Did Maura succeed in calling her boyfriend prior to her death with that phone?
I doubt it. I feel like she might have, but I feel like they took her phone and did stuff with it.
Mm-hmm.
So they may have called. They may have called.
Oh yeah. Is she with all her belongings buried? Did they discard them anywhere else?
Yeah, let me see where her stuff is. Like I said, I feel like the phone was destroyed, literally smashed. I feel like that was destroyed, but the backpack, I think the backpack, I feel like the backpack is with her. I feel like all of her all of her belongings are with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the very beginning, early on maybe a few months after Maura went missing, a well-known psychologist drew a crude map and put an X on it where he presumes she may be. Do you get anything from that for location? Do I need to give you some more details? It's just a curveball, but it seems significant.
And what was his reasoning for knowing it?
I'm not clear. I don't know. I think he just might have studied the most likely possibilities
Okay.
and went from there.
Got it. There's this theory, I'll answer it in a second, but there's this theory we call the triangle of familiarity. So if we have a suspect, if we know who did it, if we know who hid the body, say, they have scientifically proven that they will place the body in this triangle of familiarity, so that if you know where they work, if you know where they live, and you know where they hang out, you draw a triangle between those locations. They'll almost always be inside that triangle or along the perimeter of it. So there's that theory that works, but you have to know who the suspect is, obviously.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But do you remember this guy's name?
Yes, Godwin, Godwin, Dr. Godwin.
Yeah, is he putting it out in the middle of the woods somewhere?
No, it's actually more near a road.
Okay.
The one you described earlier, that same road you described earlier.
Right, with the ice cream store.
Windy.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't know what to make of it. I don't know what to make of it. Because it feels like, did somebody tell him and then he's passing it along, or that's what I'm wondering.
Possibility.
Yeah.
Did you see any structures or colors of the closest, say, houses in the vicinity where she lies today? Other than like the railroad tracks, is there any, and you said was some empty metal buildings or a building?
A building.
Anything else, power lines?
It did not feel like there were houses in the vicinity. It did not, there may be further away, but it did not feel like there were houses in the vicinity to me. It felt more like a farmland or industrial, like farmland. It felt more like farmland to me. It felt very rural. It feels like all the development stuff is over toward that curvy road on the other side of that curvy road that I was describing. So there could be scattered houses, but I didn't really get that. It felt more like, I kept thinking this building was sort of out in the middle of it was sort of out. I didn't see anything around it. Let's put it that way.
So, and I think I'm really connecting with what you just said in my own search efforts. Did you get any visuals of another style backpack other than the JanSport, which would be Land's End? I found a blue one. I'm just curious on my own behalf. Land's End would be the title of the backpack.
Of the one that she had?
Well, no, she had a JanSport, but I did find a backpack in my searches. I just wanted to rule it out. If you saw Land's End as possibly being hers?
It's funny because I kept thinking it was she had a small, delicate, that was, I kept thinking she had like a smaller, more delicate backpack. So the JanSport actually makes sense to me because that's how I was seeing it. Yeah, I don't think the one you found is connected though.
Okay, and how about, did she lose any shoes while she was, if she did any running physically away from them at any time?
Did
Was
she have sandals on?
she may have had athletic running shoes, sneakers, or leather nurse loafers.
Okay. Well, when I saw him grab her, I mean, she really didn't get to run very far. I mean, he grabbed her right away. I saw her kicking and fighting. So I would say there's probably no shoes lost out there.
Did any neighbors hear her screaming at all where she crashed?
You know, I think he probably got a hand over her mouth pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, he overpowered her really fast. And I mean, I probably would say by the time she got out of that car, he had wrestled her into the other car probably like within a minute. I mean, it was
Okay.
just a really fast.
Sure. Can I give you a name of a street? Is that okay?
Yeah, I don't know if I'll connect or not, but you can try.
Hummingbird, or Tunnel Brook,
As far as the
where she might have been, they were driving her to their area. It would probably be out
where
of,
the house is.
yeah, correct.
I don't know about that, but I can tell you that it feels like that house was like up on a hill, or you had to drive up to it to get to it. It feels
Okay.
up.
How about Riverbend? Does that strike a bell?
Um, Possibly.
In correlation to Swiftwater, those are some key places she could possibly have traveled en route to where they land on the way to where they were going.
Mm-hmm. Because I definitely see them going up. I definitely see this road going up at an elevation. It's really interesting too because I feel like it's not a cul-de-sac where there's tons of houses around it, but I get that sense of round, um, almost like it curves around or something like that.
Okay. Since she was taken to one place where they would rape her and assault her, did they then go to their where they all lived? Would they have lived together as like roommates, these perpetrators? Do you get a sense of that? Were they neighbors, the boys or the guys?
Yeah, good question. I was really trying to focus in on who the heck owns this house. Because it felt like, let me just go back to the house for a second. The house for me is, so I don't feel like they own it. I don't feel like any of them own it.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm trying to see if they live in it. Because it almost feels like they don't live in it either. It almost feels like the house belongs to someone else and they knew that person wasn't going to be there, or the house is abandoned, or something like that. Like it doesn't necessarily feel like they live there.
Do you get, Pam, would you get the word valley in any of your visions, the word valley?
As far as what the
A
location of the,
location.
that's a leading question, but
Sorry.
um, in respect to what?
Just the name of a street, actually.
Okay. Yeah, that's a leading question.
Sorry.
That's okay. I know it's hard. It's really hard not to do it.
Yeah, I'm trying my best.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. In your best sensors, do you think that there could have been more than 3 guys at all through the whole course of the few days she was alive? At any point, was there additional guys involved?
Um, I don't think so.
Okay.
In fact, I actually don't think all 3 of them stayed there the entire time.
Do you see a bonfire at all? Any kind of setting like that?
Um, Again, that's a leading question, but that uh, related to the house, or
Yeah, definitely.
um, yeah, I don't know. It's hard because that's a leading question. So as soon as I get a leading question, then I'm like, I don't know. It's hard to separate out.
Sure. Okay. Pam, did Maura put a stocking in her tailpipe? That's been a big question everybody's been so concerned about.
Did
Her
she put it in there?
yes, by her own hand, or somebody else, the perpetrators did it to sabotage her vehicle. That's one of the biggest questions too.
Absolutely. I don't think she did it.
Oh, okay. Um, let's see. And I probably would,
I always felt like they did something to sabotage her vehicle, um, but the thing is, like I said, there's more than one encounter here, right? So that's what makes it so confusing. Because
Yeah.
Because I do feel like, yeah, they were definitely trying to sabotage her. Not so much sabotage but to try to get her so that she would have to pull over, so
Hmm.
that they could grab her.
Do you see the perpetrators local to where this all occurred? Are they still in the same vicinity living? Or have they all gone away, far away?
Do they still all live there?
Yeah.
Um, that's a good question. Remind me again how long ago this happened?
Oh, 2004.
Oh, wow.
14.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
2004. Okay. Um, yeah, that's a good question. The main guy that I keep saying is the one who's like the ringleader or whatever you want to call him. Um, so he would probably be close to 40 now, right? Um, it's really interesting because I actually feel like he's probably married,
Mm-hmm.
as a kid. Um, may have left the area.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he left the state. He may not have left the state, but I feel like he left the immediate area.
Do you feel this case is almost solved in your best mindset?
Um, it's a good question. I feel like, obviously, I'm not sure you guys have been near where the body is, but as far as the people are concerned, let me see if you were going in the right direction. I feel like, as far as the people go,
Mm-hmm.
it feels to me like you're going in the right direction, but I don't know if you have the right person in your spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you're heading in the right direction, like in the general right direction. Does that make sense? Like you have
Sure.
the right
Yeah.
idea, but I'm not sure you're focusing on the right person yet.
Okay. And do you feel the killer have any personal belongings that they may have kept of Maura's? Any of the guys involved? Would they have taken anything as a,
Trophy.
yeah,
Um,
or may have bragged or something on that lines, may have
right.
bragged?
Trophies or bragging or anything like that. Um, Yes. Do I think there's been bragging? Yes.
Okay. Um,
But I don't feel like it's the main guy. I feel like it's one of the other guys, like one of the sidekicks.
mhm. Oh. There was a tow truck involved. We want to know if the tow truck driver, do you see or get any inkling um, that he was coerced into being that tow truck driver that evening in 2004? There's just a strange access to that. The tow truck driver might have somehow had a hand in this that took Maura's car away.
Is he skinny?
Yes.
Like tall and skinny?
Yeah, not real thin. But you may be seeing him back 15 years ago.
Right. um, so do I feel like he's involved in any way? Is that the question?
Yeah, thank you.
Um, it's funny because the reason I was asking is like one of the guys I saw was skinny, like lanky kind of, or skinny, as opposed to the other guy who was sort of muscular and that. Like this other guy's kind of like a weird non-military looking, more
Mhm.
skinny. It's sort of rough around the edges looking. So
Mhm.
they're sort of a mismatched kind of
Mhm.
pair. And he had lighter hair. I thought this guy had lighter hair.
Okay.
I
Any
don't.
tattoos? Do you see any significant tattoos on any of the men that possibly killed her?
Good. That's a good question. Because I get the if I were to look at the three guys, I would say the one guy I keep saying is the big bulky guy, and then there's this skinny guy who uh, I feel like he's either got blonde hair or light hair, and it's longer. It's not like cropped or anything, and then there's this third guy who's
Mhm.
short. Like compared to the other two, he's short.
Mhm.
Um, and he's the one who I feel probably did some bragging.
Mhm.
Um, but he's like really short, like a head shorter than the other two.
Do you feel, Pam, were they local guys, local to the crash scene, like lived in the vicinity?
Um, I kept trying to figure out where the heck they came from, like
Mhm.
where they picked her up, that they were following, when they started following her.
Mhm.
Um, I just keep getting this. I just keep getting this party thing over and over and over that they were at a party, um, at a bar or a party or something. But uh, so I don't really. I feel like they might not have been from that area where that area.
Mhm. Okay. And were those three guys, would you consider all of them violent by nature, or just the one that killed her violent with a raping mentality?
All right. Um, they all feel pretty rapey to me. Uh, uh, whether I feel like this is a pattern, you mean? Um,
Yes.
the main guy definitely. Um, in all different forms too. Like I almost want to call him Bill Cosby. He
Oh, yeah.
like he probably would drug women or
Hmm.
um, take advantage in that way.
Hmm.
Um,
Any kind of clues to their clothing, maybe that stood out, like if they have a chain on their wallet, you get anything like that? Something really that jumps out, a, a baseball cap, anything significant they might have on their persons that we could identify them by, maybe anything that jumps out, maybe
yeah.
their boots or.
Yeah, let me just see. And like I said, I never answered the tattoo question.
Mhm.
Um, anything that stands out about any of them?
Or what line of work they might be involved in today,
Mm.
if that's not too far out.
Yeah, like I said, the one I feel like that guy could be married with a kid. Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
that's kind of scary. He actually could be law enforcement
Mhm.
now.
Mhm. Do you
Um,
see any initials?
yeah, still not confident on that.
Mhm.
Um, and then as far as like if I see any, uh, I just kept thinking I saw like Navy. I kept feeling like Navy for one of these guys.
Mhm.
Like it may be symbolic, but I keep seeing the white. You know how the Navy guys wear the white?
Mhm.
I keep getting that sense of Navy
Mhm. Are they like best friends back then?
back then. I feel like two of them were really close, and then the third one not as not as much. But I feel like two of them were pretty close. Yeah.
Mhm. In your best vision, Pam, do you think that they intended on killing her? Was that like, do you feel that kind of energy, like, or to just get out of hand?
Uh, yeah, it's a good question because, like I said, I feel like there's some sort of drinking or some sort of substance involved here too. I don't feel like they were stone cold sober. Um, I don't feel like this is premeditated. I don't.
Okay, and did Maura try to convince them to let her go at all in any aspect, do you see?
Um, yeah, let me see how much interaction there actually is there. She's such a beautiful girl. Yeah, she probably did.
Okay. And as I searched for her for the last 14 months, I felt her alongside me in many scenarios. Is she with people that are thinking of her a lot, or is she um, just way up in heaven? I
That's a
mean,
really good question.
is she around?
So what's interesting, is she knows how much activity is around her case. She knows how much attention it's gotten. Um, she's very touched by that, actually. Um,
Does
she's
she
fine.
send us signs for all the searchers that have been looking for her? There's some signs that you see that she might have put there that we didn't interpret properly?
Yeah, let me just see, because she likes you, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, she
Love
likes
her.
you. But yeah, I mean, she spends a lot of time with her mom. She tries to comfort her mom. She's telling me, but for you, yeah, I mean, she's a little overwhelmed. Sometimes she's overwhelmed that her case has gotten so much attention, and that 14 years later, people are still trying to find her and stuff. Um, because justice is a weird thing in the spirit world.
Mm-hmm.
They don't think of it the same way that we do. So
Yeah.
they trust in karma and spiritual growth and all that stuff working itself out. But what they do want is closure for their families.
Mm-hmm.
So she wants some sort of resolution for her mom, especially. I mean, she cares about her whole family, but does she have a brother?
Yes, she does.
Yeah, because she worries about him. Um, but she definitely she only wants that resolution for her mother to be able to move forward. She wants a place where her mom can put flowers, right? Um, she does want that. So um, I'm asking her what kind of signs to look for when you're out there.
Well, we were uncertain about orbs. We might have seen some prisms as well at the last gathering we had a month ago that did appear in photographs, orbs and rainbows.
Well, she's talking about butterflies.
Oh, yes, with
Butterflies and hummingbirds, but mostly butterflies.
I seen a ton of butterflies in the places that I've been, overwhelming amounts.
Okay, yeah,
I mean,
that's
it is further
probably her.
north
I think
than
that's
where
her.
I live, but hordes of them.
Yes, because
Um,
she's talking about the butterflies. Yeah,
wow,
that's her.
wow. Um, and I mean, not to go back to the beginning, but one last question another girl had for us was her vehicle staged
Ah,
from the original place that it crashed?
interesting. That's a good question because there's the vehicle is such a weird. Because here's what I keep getting about the vehicle. I get there's damage to the front, which is weird because they're chasing her from the back.
Mm-hmm.
So um, that's why I keep feeling like there was another incident earlier where it's almost like if somebody slammed on the brakes or did something to force you to crash. It almost reminds me of I don't want to say this is it, but it almost reminds me of that maneuver that law enforcement uses to they tap on your back and spin you around. Um,
Mm-hmm.
It almost feels like there was some sort of maneuver or something done to her, but
Mhm.
but was the car staged from where it was originally? I don't think so.
Okay. Um,
And the
she
reason
did.
I say that is just because I feel like
Mhm.
everything happened really fast once they got her pulled over. Once they got her pulled over, I feel like
Oh.
it happened so fast.
Mhm. Did they put duct tape on her mouth?
I
That's,
kind of thought that might be, yep. Hmm.
yeah, okay. Um, let's see. Any other senses you're getting offhand? You're welcome to give me any kind of sensory you might have from her at the moment.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna ask her to help you guys. I'm just gonna ask her to help you guys find her,
Mm.
so her mom can lay flowers on her grave. Um,
Actually, Pam, her mom passed on her birthday 3 years, I believe, after 3 to 4 years.
oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, so
I,
she's with her mom.
I think it's 2008 her mom passed on her birthday.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. She was waiting for her birthday, apparently, I feel.
Yeah, it's so weird though. She keeps showing me these flowers. Like
Hmm.
her mom always wanted to put flowers on her grave, but she didn't have a grave, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Um, that's what she kept saying.
Uh-huh.
Um, okay, so she's with her mom.
Hmm.
Um, but her dad and her brother are still here.
Yes.
Does this really mess them up? Especially her brother. I guess her brother's really had a hard time with this.
Yeah. He's a superb brother.
Yeah. Like he feels like didn't protect her or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so let's just ask if there's anything that we need to know that would help
Hmm.
in any way, anything that would help,
Any direction.
any direction, anything that we're missing, anything that would help in any way. Um, that either she wants to tell me or the guides want to tell me.
Mhm.
Um, okay. So there's a couple things I'm hearing. One is um, be careful. Be careful in dealing with the sheriff's department.
Oh, yes. We're aware of that. 550%.
Okay.
Huge
Uh,
factor.
I'm
Um,
hearing that you need to be careful. And because you keep getting diverted. Every time you get close to it, you're going to get diverted.
mm, exactly.
That's what I keep hearing. Yeah, I almost feel uncomfortable publishing this
Mhm.
um,
That's okay. Um,
because I feel like that's actually your best lead.
mhm. Do you think between cadaver dogs and ground penetrating radar, would those two components bring us to her?
Yeah, I think if you get in the right area, the cadaver dogs, I think if we could find the area, cadaver dogs will have no problem with it.
Okay.
If
Are you
you,
going
and you're welcome to send me a map or something of anything of the area that you are thinking.
wonderful, thank you.
And I can tell you, a lot of times I can tell you, yeah, that looks like what I was getting, or no, not at all.
Sure. Yeah, I think pretty much wraps up everything for the hour.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, Again, we can't thank you enough, Pam, for your expertise and your hard work and your brain and your open spiritual levels that we all wish we had.
Well, thank you. I hope, I hope some of it makes sense, and I hope it helps get you to look at things, or opens up some ideas for you, or, something.
Yeah. So,
So, but I do hear that. I hear that it's been like, I just feel like, you keep getting diverted. I keep hearing that you keep getting diverted. So it's like every time you get close, you get,
a barrier.
a barrier, or an obstacle, or forced to go left when you want to go right, or.
Do you feel, and my last question, is this case going to be solved within 6 months?
Um, you know,
If you get anything?
when you say solved, what do you just.
Finding her remains.
Okay. Do I think we'll find her within 6 months? I think, I don't want to promise it, but I have high hopes for January.
That sounds
Are you
nice.
getting snow?
Yeah, off and on, but nothing too heavy right now.
Okay.
We still go up there though, it doesn't matter.
Because, like I said, I feel like where she is, uh, I feel like the immediate area is flat. I don't feel like she's, like, there may be a mountain. I see a mountain,
Mhm.
but I don't feel like she's up on a mountain. I feel like she's in the flat. I feel like she's in the area where there is civil, that's the thing I think that sticks out to me more than anything else, is that you guys may have been looking in places like up in the woods and up in the mountains and up in the remote places, and I feel like she's in civilization. I feel like she's down
In the valley area.
in the valley, yeah, closer to where there's civilization.
Mhm.
Which is like, that's the thing, is, where I sort of diverge from Allison or other people. I don't get I don't get her being in a river. I don't get a bridge. I don't get, I feel like she's on property, and I feel like it's, down sort of in civilization. Not a super busy area, but I still feel like she's not so remote as you guys have been thinking.
Mhm. Within, say 1 mile of the crash site, would you see her? That's my very last question.
Mm.
Within 1 mile of the crash site.
Um, Probably not. Probably not.
Okay.
Does the crash site, I would love to see on a map where the crash site is. I would love to see that.
I'll furnish that all for you.
Okay.
We still need all the help we can get, so that would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, I would love to see that, but I feel like she's further out than that, than a mile from that.
Mhm.
So, I would probably put her somewhere in the mile, you know, in the 5 mile range. Well, somewhere between where she is and a 5 mile radius. But,
Okay.
but I would love to see that on the map and see where that is.
I can furnish you several maps of all the different areas, the whole vicinity. There's like 5 small towns around that are snug, and there's a lot of different terrain, so it is probably hard to, you know, graph and technically put it together with maps and, I mean, landmarks and the mountain, like you mentioned. It all correlates. Just a matter, maybe if we turn it to the left or the right, or, you know, pivots.
Yeah, and I definitely, like I said, the way I have it laid out, you know, it's definitely that I felt like that ice cream store and the civilization was over in that direction and the mountain was in that direction.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
so that was an important, sort of
Mhm.
how I see things laid out.
Sure. Well, I think
Okay,
you've done a wonderful job, Pam, and the
good.
whole Murray community thanks you deeply. You know, you're a great resource, tool, um, many different hats.
Thank you. Thank you. Yep. Like I said, don't be afraid to send me, you know, send me some maps or some things that you've been looking at, um, even some of the houses that you've been interested in or that kind of thing.
Sure. That would be
So
great. Yeah,
I would be happy to look at them and see if I think that looks like anything that I was seeing.
for sure. I mean, you only live in California. It's a long way to, I'm sure it's a little tougher. It's got to be.
It's actually better for me. It's actually
Remote
harder.
viewing, is
It's
that?
actually harder for me to work local cases
Oh.
because because when I see something, I don't know if it's because I know about it, and so my imagination, I don't know, that I fight with everything I see, but
Right, right.
when it's an area I'm not familiar with, it's actually easier because I don't have to
A
fight.
benefit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is a benefit.
that's
But
great.
I'm telling you, it's very strange that I heard big brand tire when I don't think you have a big brand tire
Yeah,
stores.
significant.
So I don't know what that means, but I heard it twice. So I
Mhm.
don't know what that means, but something about that. But it is kind of interesting if you're thinking that maybe there's a tow truck driver involved or something, and I'm picking up a tire place.
For
So
sure.
could be something to that.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
you've gone well past an hour, Pam. So
Yeah.
again, big time. Thank you. And again, we can't thank you enough for having such a fabulous woman at our hands on this situation.
Yep. Well, you're welcome. And like I said, Maura is aware of what you're doing, and she's grateful too.
And lastly, Pam, does this just download the Zoom?
Nope. So what I will do is I will upload it to YouTube, a secret link on YouTube, and then I'll send you that link.
Okay, fabulous. Thank you so very much for your time.
You're very welcome.
Okay, take
Okay.
care.
All right. Bye.
Bye, Pam. Thank you.